Oh, UK coronavirus alert level moving to 4. A number the ancients once claimed 2 and 2 equaled. And a fitting prologue to tonight's playlet, Testing and Tracing with Professor Chris Whitty.
Donna? Donna Bendelbaum? J. Edgar Hoover Medical High, class of 92. Who's this? This is Professor Chris Whitty. You don't remember me? Donna, how bad has your memory gotten? You don't remember 24 hours ago? I was all over TV. I'm the UK government's chief scientific advisor. Anyway, where's my British accent? Hold on a second, Donna. UK means British. Fuck. Yeah, Donna, that's something I just do for the TV, make it look more medical. Yeah, the British people really love a British accent. Anyway, Donna, the reason I'm calling is we're trying to get a test and trace thing up and running, but we're having some kinks here, so I'm kind of stepping in for the meantime here. I understand a couple of days ago you were hanging out in Brighton with some pretty nice-looking girls. 2 redheads and a brunette. Yeah, if you could, I think they had some COVID symptoms. Yeah, if you could give me their names and their numbers there. Yeah. No, Donna. This is not about you self-isolating. Don't worry about that. No. This is something new we're doing. It's called the random hours allocating the virus invisible killer, trying to look for the thing and trying to figure out when the people are moving and stuff like that. So we need to know from you, Donna, what time of the day are you not at home? And your husband not around either? Yeah, because what we want to do is we want to find out when the house is the safest, when there's nobody in it at all. Okay, so you've gone around those times, and do you have a safe? I mean, are you safe? Do you got sinks there and showers you can wash your hands and stuff? You got soap? Good. So, but you're definitely gone those times of the day. That's good. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that there. Mr. Franken, that was a sketch that you had written. I think it was in the year 2020. Is that right? Yes, that is correct. I cannot hear you, Mr. Franken. Could you please pull on your mask and then pull it back down again? Sorry. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. And is this the sort of thing that you found funny in 2020? Well, I felt it was a choice of either laughing at it or believing in it. And sorry. Well, I felt it was a choice of either laughing at it or believing in it, and since believing in it was not an option, I guess, tried to laugh at it and get others to laugh at it. That's what you did. But were you aware, Mr. Franken, that under the Coronavirus Emergency Powers Act of, what year was that? Sorry, Your Honor, just getting my notes in order. Here it is. Were you aware, Mr. Franken, that under the Coronavirus Emergency Powers Act of 2020, it is considered a punishable crime to make fun of the Coronavirus Emergency Powers Act of 2020? No, I was not aware things could get that Orwellian. Orwellian. Now, what is that? One of these newfangled anti-vaccine words? No, it's in reference to the work of an author. An author? You like books, don't you, Mr. Franken? In fact, a manuscript for a book was found in your possession with the working title, COVID-19 is a Big Load of Horse Shit, Confessions from Someone Who Believed in It for the First Few Weeks. Why would we find a manuscript like this in your possession in the year 2020, Mr. Franken? You didn't. It was planted on me. Yes, we did plant it on you. But why did we plant it on you? Of all the other people in this world we could have planted this manuscript on, we planted it on you. Because don't you, Mr. Franken, believe that the whole coronavirus story is weird? Isn't that what you've been telling people, that the coronavirus story is weird? When in fact, Mr. Franken, aren't you the weird one? Isn't it true, Mr. Franken, you practice something called voice magic? Where you can make yourself sound like other people? Isn't that what you're doing now? You know this is an English courtroom. You know I'm not a lawyer. I'm a barrister in an English court of law. I'm not Clarence Darrow, I'm Rumple of the Bailey. But in your own twisted mind, for whatever reason, you want to turn me into a hillbilly cracker from the deep south. Why, to what end, I do not know. And isn't it further true, Mr. Franken, as somebody who thinks the whole COVID-19 story is weird? Don't you worship an ancient demon called God? Whoa! I got that one out. That idea came to me about 4 in the morning last night. I thought, fuck, why now? 4 in the morning. I always get the ideas at 4 in the morning. And I never know if I'm cracking up or if it's actually good. So hope you guys enjoy that. And now it is time for me to put on some lunch. I'm going to press pause because I got to have my schedule. I'm working on schedule with Paradise Lost. But the Prime Minister is making a statement as we speak about the next part 2 of the lockdown. He's a little bit early. It was supposed to happen in October. They knew it, and for some reason we all did too. Everybody knew that it was going to happen again. I apologize for using that accent because I know the Germans have been kicking fucking ass out there, telling their government to go fuck themselves. But I am just doing it. That's my Dr. Strangelove, isn't it? It's my twisted Dr. Strangelove approximation. My Dr. Heimlich maneuver, who has served me well in doing sketches about climate change and child worship of Greta Thunberg, and now he's also behind the COVID thing, whatever this thing is. He may just be an AI machine. He probably is just an AI machine. I'm sure that has a lot to do with this, but we'll be back in just a second to talk about things sundry. We'll see. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll eat my lunch, and then we'll see what Boris Johnson had to lie about today. Pubs are closing at 10 p.m. now. I know that. And who knows? Who knows what he said right now? But I hope you enjoyed that opening sketch, and I'll see you in 2 Lambs of a Shake's Tail. And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that. I rehearsed it a few times before I pressed record, so I hope I didn't burn up all my energy in rehearsal. But I think I hope I ended this way. If I didn't, it was supposed to end this way, where I was back on the stand, and I was going to say, look, that was just a sketch. And this is too, and then just ended like it was a nightmare. But anyway, I think I got most of the important lines out, and I do hope you enjoyed that. And sorry, it's been a while. I've been working on the massive Book 9 of Paradise Lost, which has taken the entire month. And I hope to have it completed in a couple of days with the soundscaping and all that. Make that available for the patrons at patreon.com/WillFranken. Which reminds me, our patron Alexander wanted me to remind you guys, if you're near Trafalgar Square or London, Trafalgar Square on the 26th, there's another protest. They had a protest there on the 19th as well. And yeah, so that's coming up on the 26th, Trafalgar Square. I think it's at noon as well, so thank you to Alexander for that. And I took a break, and I haven't done a video in 14. I've been working on Paradise Lost consistently, and so I told my patrons in my last Sunday video for the patrons this week. I said, I haven't communicated with the internet world in a week, and so when it comes to the patrons, it's like they see me from Sunday to Sunday, and I worry sometimes that as the days go on, each time I check in, I'm a little bit madder. But with you guys, it's been, with the general public, it's been, I think it's 2 weeks now, maybe a little bit longer. And the second lockdown's coming, grab your guns. It's what it seems like. I mean, it's funny, they're a little ahead of schedule here. So Boris Johnson today, what did he say? What are the new rules? The new rules are going to last, first off, the new rules are going to last 6 months. So they got those locked in for 6 months. According to the Coronavirus Emergency Powers Act, I'll tell you what we can do. If you don't mind if I eschew the British accent for the moment, just get down to brass tacks, because what we really are is a bunch of scummy old hillbilly John Grisham evil villains carving up the world. I've never read a John Grisham book, but isn't that what he does? Like double dealings down south, shady justice systems. Anyway, that's the filter I'm seeing this through today. What are the new rules? I know that pubs have to close at 10. What else? 15 people at a wedding instead of 30. Oh, there were some others, but I got the impression that this was more about let's get some things locked in for 6 months so we own them for at least another half a year. So let's just put some of those in because it's not quite October yet. And that's what I keep thinking is so weird. How did we all know that they were going to do this again in October? They obviously knew that there was going to be a second wave and another lockdown come October. But we all, whatever side this is that we're on, we knew. I don't know when I first started hearing the word October. October. They were going to lock us down in October. Sunday night, I was walking back from Tesco's. Tesco? Who knows anymore? I was walking back from Tesco, and it's a very quiet place when they're not building luxury homes next to two care homes that have been bought by private companies in Boris Johnson's brave new Britain. It's a Britain where the fox hunter can roam free and get money from the treasury. Welcome to the brand new Britain, made out of concrete and little AI bits they put in the Chinese robots. The beautiful Britain, the beautiful hygienic Britain. Oh, that's another thing. The shop workers have to wear masks now too. So it's more of a tightening of the mask agenda. Let's get everybody in a mask now at all times in a shop. So any kind of public setting, there's workers in masks and customers in masks. And let the mask meet the mask. Let the mask. So that's just a bit of. But I think that's a bit of the. Let's give them 2 weeks of bullshit until we do the final thing in October. The big shutdown. The big wipe out, all those when the furlough scheme ends, wipe out any remaining small businesses. Let's knock those out. Let's really fuck up the pub. They really hate the North. I'm convinced this government hates the North. And why not? Because I imagine they want to bulldoze all that and put all that smart city shit up there. And that's why people like the mayor of Manchester, they're just absolutely worthless because their idea of opposing the government. Can you imagine? This is why the Tories are saying we're a fascist government. We're a fascist government. We're a two-tier society government. We believe that some people are better than others. That probably has a lot to do with breeding and genetics. We're telling you this with everything that we're doing. And we've also got the Coronavirus Emergency Powers Act, which keeps giving us law after law after law. And there's a lot to do with testing and tracing and apping and vaccines around this also. We all know this. We've been doing it every fucking day. And then the opposition comes in and says, oh, I think the government should do a better job at testing. That's what I'm concerned about. What are you doing? It's the virus pantomime. I'm the opposition. Boo, boo, boo. We're the establishment. Yes, yes, yes. And then us sad bastards in the middle, who are the ordinary human beings that make up this world, we're looking at this. Will anybody play a song that we're interested in, that we find catchy? How about this song? How about, will it be an option, this vaccine? Or that hit that's sweeping the nation right now in Texas and Georgia. You might know it. I forget who does it, but it's a nice little country ditty they're singing out there now called The Second Lockdown's Coming, Grab Your Guns. The second lockdown's coming, grab your guns. Get 'em all locked and loaded, 'cause your freedom's getting eroded. The second lockdown's coming, grab your guns. I've never been censored on YouTube, and my girlfriend seems to think it's because there's no real format to this. This is just one man with his crazy head. I press record and I see what comes out, and these are my feelings about the world as I see it right now. And, growing, I guess, madder by the day, but that's all right. For an artist, I'm special. I get to be a little bit mad. I'm lucky because that comes with my work. I make Afghan explosions, and I don't mean the people. I mean like the Afghan rugs. I make the little explosions. I make Jackson Pollocky. I do a lot of work with my inner child, and I read that book, but what was it called? The Artist Way. There were a lot of frauds in the art world, but that's a totally different topic. Why did I go down that direction? Maybe sometimes the subconscious can work against you. But I haven't been censored on YouTube because I think it is because I weave in and out of the subconscious, and I don't think the Chinese bots or whatever that they get that's working for YouTube, the AI employees of YouTube, they're not that smart because they have, I guess, and I'm not a computer guy, but I imagine they must have been programmed by Philistines. Look for something that says COVID believer gets pawned by COVID truth teller. And they're trained to look for real simple stuff, you know. And I like to give my videos, I don't know, not so direct name. I don't know what it is, but I think the format, just the fact that I just wander all over and, you know, sometimes talk about the Bible and then sometimes talk about what's going on with the UK government and, you know, or bring up Milton, you know, in a lot of the videos lately. I just don't think maybe they're just not smart enough to catch nuance. But maybe I'm tempting fate, touch wood. Because I wouldn't be surprised there was a situation like it is considered a hate crime to make fun of the Coronavirus Emergency Powers Act. Yesterday they sent out the two scientists. Now we all knew there was going to be an announcement today, Tuesday. Yesterday they sent out the two creepy scientists that look alike. They're balding men, probably late 50s, early 60s. Chris Whitty and Sir Patrick Vallance, and they look like Scientologists. And they both have glasses as well. And they're walking in. And it was funny, too, because they were walking in socially distanced into this, wherever they gave that speech. This was Monday morning. And they're socially distanced, walking in the thing, looking very serious. And then they sat down and they gave a briefing about this is really bad. And we thought we were away from this virus, but it's here with us to stay. And it's getting worse. And it's just as bad as we had it back in spring. And the cases are rising. This gloom and doom message. But it was the first time I think they appeared on their own, these two guys, instead of next to Boris at the podiums, taking questions from the press. Very easy questions from the press, like, we have done the best testing in the world. It is the greatest testing. You had a follow-up opposition question? Yes, I was going to say it's not the greatest testing, and there's a lot more we can do to make it the greatest testing. Well, I disagree with you. Next question. Well, we have got the Test and Trace app up and running in many places, and it is apping, and it is testing. Yes, you had a follow-up opposition question to that? Yes, I don't think it is, and I think there's much more ways that big tech can get involved to make the app run smoother. And they do the virus dance. Any song would be better. It's Steve Miller's Jet Airliner. Just play that instead. Big old jet airliner, won't you tell me about fun? Anyway, I'm jumpy today. I think it's because I don't know how that sketch looked. I don't play it back until I upload it. You know, see, how did that sketch go? Because I don't know how to stop, and then I don't want to splice or edit anything together. I just feel like just riffing today because I've not caught up with you guys in a while. But thank you to all the patrons at patreon.com/Franken, and thank you to Alexander for mentioning the upcoming protest on the 26th. Thank you to our latest patron, Leon. You don't have to meet a Leon. It's a good name. I always think of Leon Russell, the piano player. But I was wondering, they sent in the scientist yesterday. So that's why I did the Chris Whitty. I'm Professor Chris. Who am I? I'm Professor Chris Whitty. Who the fuck was Chris Whitty before this year? Nobody. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. Chris Whitty. So they're gonna know the name of Chris Whitty one day. The hills will ring one day. You mark my words with the name of Chris Whitty. Chris Whitty who? Fuck you, old man. The kids are into rock and roll. You'll hear my name one day. When you least expect it. Professor Chris Whitty. In neon lights, 20 feet high. Professor Chris Whitty and Sir Patrick Vallance. And they gave this very long speech about it's coming again. And the reason they did that is because by now, anybody with a head or heart or both in Britain absolutely hates Dominic Cummings and his AI bullshit and Boris Johnson and his profligate view of Britain as being nothing but a place for luxury homes and smart grid cities and bike lanes and the HS2 and let's destroy Ashford out in Kent so we can build something that's already in Dover. What else is he doing? I mean, the list goes. Fox hunting is a business. You can have fox hunts, but you can't have that calf. That calf, I mentioned a million times in these videos, was run by 4 women in probably their mid-60s. Mid-50s to mid-60s. 4 women. A family-run business. And I loved going down there getting the full English. And I knew they were going to suffer. And 2 months into lockdown, I ran into one of the ladies and I said, "Are you guys going to be back?" And she says, "Yeah, we're going to be back. We don't know when, but we'll be back." And I went by there the other day. So I've been going by there and it wasn't open. And they just had the notice. Due to government, blah, 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 we were not able to open our doors. It had been blue tacked on the window. But it was still a calf inside. And I went by there the other day. Well, not the other. It was about a week and a half ago. I've just not talked about it yet on here. And this was after leaving ASDA, where they brought in facial recognition software in ASDA. They care so little about human beings at ASDA, these big business people that are giving us all these great fucking graphic designs about keeping it together and being all one love family and helpy in this horrible time of coronavirus. That they had the time to get a bunch of new fucking machines that film you with the iPad-sized camera up there and then down below a little wallet-sized photo filming you as well on these brand new fucking machines. And I leave there and I walk on the way and I stop and I see the diner. And there's nothing in there now. And it says shop to let on the window. Gone. And I must have stood there for about 5 minutes and having a cigarette, just looking in there going, "You bastards." All I could say was, "You bastards." I couldn't think of a more appropriate word. Bastards. You fucking bastards. It was nothing to that place could only fit comfortably 6 people at a time, and you were lucky to get a table. So obviously it wasn't the biggest money earner in the world, and that's why I loved it. I gave them a Christmas. I'd only been down here a year at that point, and I gave them a Christmas card last year, and I said to the Yank who always gets the full from the Yank who always gets the full English. Because I love that place. And it's just gone. Just like that, man. Just like that. And you could only fucking get 6 people in there comfortably. Just a handful of tables. They got all their condiments from the Sainsbury's nearby. It was about the atmosphere. There was a little bit, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just if you're not a big connoisseur of food and you just like to pay £5 for a nice with mushrooms and tinned tomatoes, a nice full English, if you can't be arsed to cook for yourself one lunch, and just like that, gone, man. And yet a fox hunt and a grouse hunt, as if these guys are in the deer hunter, as if they're coming back from Vietnam. Right, and this is some working class cut. No, it's a bunch of posh fucks saying, "Who pays your bills, Mr. Johnson? Who cashes the checks, Mr. Johnson? You're not your own man anymore, Mr. Johnson. You belong to the underworld." Yeah. Pontius Pilate, but doing the work of Moloch and Mammon, You got some earthly presence of powers here, but, really, you got nothing in your soul, man. Perfect for these times, you hollow vessel, perfect. Let us infuse you with all sorts of madness that's happening at a level way above your head, way above your Etonian head. First, we'll blow a little AI algorithms into that head of yours. This is what education is, Mr. Johnson. Algorithms of all sorts that do things teachers never could. First lie. Gavin Williamson, my bitch boy education secretary, go out and spread that demonic lie everywhere, hither and thither. Call upon the BBC and say, "Have you heard of the digitally impoverished and what the Tories are doing for education?" What's the next lie? What is essential, Mr. Johnson, is that certain lords and members of the aristocracy who earn far more than you, lickspittle, will need to keep things going on the fox hunt front, shall we say? Then the BBC. Listen, I have always been Labour, okay? I have always been Labour. Okay, now, I don't like the Tories, but coronavirus, very, very deadly. right? So here's the thing. We need your permission to go after the over 75s for the license fee. So how about we do this? A little bit of, ooh, what do you guys, get the testing right. But not actually fight you. Agreed. What sinister, evil compromises. So the question I had, so the reason they send out those guys is because, yeah, they know that most of us, we don't give a toss what Cummings or Johnson or any of these fuckers are saying. Rishi Sunak. We got 400. The great news is, stop the horses now. Slow down. Don't panic about the economy just yet. Hold on. Hold your horse. Now, first off, I understand there's a lot of confusion. Economy or virus. I understand. I'm with you down here too. I'm in the trenches. Rishi Sunak. Don't panic. We got a scheme. It's called Buy One Teddy Bear, Get One Free to help the plush toy industry. We're going to donate $255 trillion on that. Pounds. Yen. So the reason they sent out, this is my hunch. Please don't let this video get too popular. Because I do have to finish Paradise Lost. And I don't want people to, Mr. Franken, we understand you're skeptical about the coronavirus fable? I would call it more of a legend. But yeah, a little bit skeptical of the coronavirus legend. Because I would call it a legend because 2020 sure seems like 2,000 years. And yet it's still happening so very fast, isn't it? Build the luxury homes. We're gonna need them to move in and never leave. 'Cause the whole world will be under lockdown. But our washing machine can communicate with our TV. 'Cause there'll be smart homes. And then you can leave your smart home and you can walk to your facially recognition software, Asda. And you can maybe by the time they get the homes done, they'll have turned whatever they wanted that small diner for. Obviously, somebody was really hungry for some real estate there. I think that was obviously a local decision. Don't open it up yet. No. I've always wanted that as a flat for my son-in-law's daughter. Yes. All in the family. Keep it all in the family. Gobble, gobble, gobble. What's that, a tree? Knock it down. Put up a pole there. 5G. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's you. 5, me. 5G. I have one more than you. And you can't buy your bread unless you're 5, not 4. Even though the government's coronavirus alert level is moving to 4. What does that mean? Asked the BBC. Let's see, do they offer any answers? I have the BBC's page up here. Tough new rules for Scotland are outlined by Nicola Sturgeon. We've reached a perilous turning point, says the PM. Yes, we have. Yes, we have, because you made Claire Fox a baroness. A woman who said that most child porn is not child porn anyway. It's simulated, said Claire Fox, that you made a baroness at 313 pounds a day. Yes, we have reached a perilous turning point. The human soul is at stake. What are the rules? What are the rules? My ADHD will make uni restrictions extra hard, says something that doesn't have to do with coronavirus. The BBC likes to put stories like that, like this. What does transgender mean and what does the law say? In between, no law to harvest DNA from COVID test, to the left of this. And on the other side, how can I get a flu jab? Okay. Starmer faces challenges over patriotism call. I mean, how's that? How's he for opposition? This government has made a shambles. It's made a shambles of testing. We need more testing, and children should be placed in the front of the queue for testing. I tell you what, how about a new idea when it comes to the opposition? Why don't we get all the people who are actually opposed to the government to have a microphone, and the rest of you guys who aren't really opposed, just kind of sit back and watch, okay? Let's try it again. Okay, so what are the rules? New hospitality and face covering rules. Up to 30 can still attend a funeral. But you can't sing at a funeral. Weddings, 15 people.
if leisure and tourism industries were not following the rules, they could be fined or shut down. It comes a day after the UK's coronavirus alert level was upgraded from 3 to 4 after the government's chief scientific advisor said the epidemic was doubling every 7 days. These computer weirdos, Patrick Vallance and Sir Patrick Vallance and his sidekick, Professor Chris Whitty. Me, I'm not a sir yet. I'm just a professor. I'm working my way up there. But boy, after this year, come New Year's honors, you watch. There's going to be 2 sirs at this table. I'm just the professor now. You want to start, sir, or do you want me to start? Yeah, sir before professor. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just to follow up on something that Sir was saying earlier. Yeah, as a professor, I'm always intrigued by letting computers do all of my work for me. And this computer thing, like, watch what happens when I press this button. You mind if Sir? Yeah, sir. I'm going to profess this because I am the professor. I should press the button. Now, here's a model kind of thing. It's kind of like a screensaver thing, right? We've all seen the screensaver, like the bubbles going around. Like, yeah, that kind of does it on its own. Remember the pipe one? Right, and they all go like, woo, and they just do that forever, indefinitely. Well, that's what this is. It's called a computer model for how a virus works. Now watch. Look how it's all twisting around and getting all, right? That means it's doubling every, 7 days. So watch out. So they did that. That's the reason they did that. They sent those jokers out. So the nation would go, okay, it's coming. I don't like Boris Johnson, but I don't know these people yet. Well, now you do. I think now we all do. We know who these people are. They're the guys who press the button. Go, look at all the swirling computer lines. That means nobody should have a 5-pound English breakfast anymore. All them swirling computer lines. Oh, boy. Buffoons and cowards, the lot. Ay vey. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. It's only 30 minutes in. My Lord Almighty, how am I going to keep this up? I want to finish this thought on this duo of Chris Whitty and Patrick Vallance. I was trying to figure out, are they the father and is Boris the mother? Like, I only care about the people in this, and are they like the don't fuck with what Boris tells you to do, because we're the dads. You don't know us because we've been off, drinking at the pub and sorting out stuff, and then or are they the mothers? Are they the ones that we don't want to have to do this to people? We know the economy is important to some people, but hush, little baby, don't you cry. Going to take care of the country. This is all about your health. What is their role as the parents of the children that are walking around, these grown men I keep talking about who wear Spider-Man masks? Because they obviously see the government as parents. So who's the father and who's the mother in their scenario that's telling them to well, it doesn't matter. You have choice. You have Incredible Hulk or C-3PO. C-3PO would be kind of cool. Look, the government does give me choice. We don't live in caveman times. I choose Incredible Hulk. Thank you, Mommy, Prime Minister, Daddy. This is what they do in communist nations, don't they? Parents, what were parents? Parents were only a vehicle that brought you into this world to be controlled by us. Just speaking in these ancient terms. Oh, this gets very emotional sometimes. What else was I going to talk about? I never have a plan, really. That was the first thing, was what the new bit of the pantomime, where these guys come out, these Chris Whitty and Patrick Vallance take center stage for the first time. Okay, maybe this will help. I think the Prime Minister's done enough damage out there with his silly hair and his saying things the wrong way. Trust us. I was talking to Bill Gates. He loves what you've done so far. You when you went to the hospital and you made those little iPhone videos and all the clapping and all that, they love what you've done. It's time for us to take over from here. We're the new creeps. Doom, doom, doom. Been looking at a computer model, and basically, so my cousin plays Grand Theft Auto.
Imagine this virus is kind of like one of the bad guys. Is there a bad guy in Grand Theft Auto? I don't know. But he's one of the bad guys in Grand Theft Auto. Okay, our job, if you look at the computer model, Sir Patrick, would you? Yeah. Okay, so our job is to, get that bad guy of that virus, right? So we're going to have to know not only Grand Theft Auto, but revisit things like Mortal Kombat. And maybe if we have to, really go back into that ancient medical history like Pitfall and Asteroids and Pac-Man. Because this virus is going to be here with us a long time. I'm Professor Chris Whitty. Who is Professor? I don't even have I have no definitive character for who he is, but I guess the joke this morning, Jesus, it's been that, and it's only been 30 minutes on here. Well, because I just had lunch, which is my breakfast, because I never have breakfast. So my lunch is my breakfast. What are you going to do? Professor Chris Whitty. I said, I just like the idea of somebody, hey, it's Professor Chris. Who am I? You know, J. Edgar Hoover, Medical High. Yeah, I'm a computer scientist now. No, stop. Computer scientist and medical guy. You don't need a medical degree. Nah, just go to computer school. I went to a computer school. Huh. I thought I was going to be doing Microsoft stuff all my life, and all of a sudden I get a call from Bill Gates. He says, hey, you want to be chief medical examiner person for the UK? I said, all right. It's not a bad life. Yeah, it's a little bit of DOS and BASIC and whatever the old computer words are, and I can't finish the bit because I just have no interest in computers, other than to make fun of them. How little, I'm hopefully by tonight or tomorrow I'll have the soundscape for Book 9 of Paradise Lost finished, and it's been really emotional because it is all in the acting. And my girlfriend plays Eve, I play Adam and Satan and the narrator. And it's almost like I'm working on a completely different poem. As you know, for those of you that have read it, this is where she eats the apple and I eat the apple. And we feel elated, then lustful, and then shameful, and then bitter. And and the whole thing starts off beautifully. It's just another day in Eden. And then I have to say, if I may say so myself, I feel like, and I shouldn't brag about this, but I feel like I was born to play Satan. In the sense that I feel like I know, or that I was born to read Milton, if that makes any sense. Because the speech that he wrote to tempt Eve, that 2-page speech he gives, sums up to me so much of what we're seeing in the world right now. Not God. Not just, not God, not feared then, nor obeyed. This hate. See, the first thing you understand with Satan is that he hates. He didn't want to see, according to Milton, it was Christ. Christ was made king in this Luciferian battle. God anointed his son king, and that fucked Satan off, so he started a rebellion. So by the time he's in Eden, he's so consumed with hate and envy. It recoils on himself, Milton describes. Back it recoils on itself over and over. It's a self-feeding thing, this hatred. And he's this is an amazing scene. He spies Eve. He sees Eve. And I have to brag too. I think the sound effects are amazing. I can actually hear the serpent just, and then seeing her. He sees Eve, and he's so overcome by her beauty, he almost changes his mind. And he has to stop. Thoughts, whither have ye led me? Not hate, not love, but hate. All pleasure to destroy. He almost doesn't want to harm her. He doesn't want to harm her at that moment. He's so drawn by her beauty, her heavenly form. And that's what's going on in the world right now. Obviously, some people are jealous because they don't have anything in here. Whatever that is. They don't have any inward passion. They don't have any deep moral convictions. They don't have any actual love of themselves towards another person, towards nature, towards God. And they're real jealous people. And so what is earth and humanity to them but just another experiment?
Like how unoriginal and dead inside was Josef Mengele. Absolutely dead inside. What a wastrel of a human with nothing to give and nothing to receive. An empty vessel. And all he could do was look on the Jewish people as an experiment. Let's try this. Let's do that. What happens when we make them all wear masks? What happens when the shop workers are wearing masks? Try doing this before the big October one. Try saying that now only weddings can have 15 people, not 30. Try doing that. Yeah, they don't know. They don't know the joys of sitting down to a full English breakfast and hearing the crazy locals, talk their talk. To hear those weird conversations that are sometimes beautiful, sometimes funny, sometimes annoying, sometimes boring. That entire range of things, that infinitude of possibilities that is the human condition. They're jealous of it. That's why they want to regulate it so much and spy on it and collect stores of information on it, like a serial killer. Can't you imagine a serial killer would like that? If a serial killer could be in control of the world right now, wouldn't that be what he wants? Just studying the world. How does it work? What happens when I do this? What happens when I cut off a hand? What happens when I remove all the skin, or I wear the skin on my own face? That was my argument against the facial recognition software. Our patron Ken, at patreon.com/WillFranken, our patron Ken, actually, because I brought that up in one of the videos to the patrons, the facial recognition software, which is why I no longer go to Asda. And who knows, before I'll have to stop going to Tesco's, because I hear they're going to bring it in as well down here. But Asda was the first in this town to bring in facial recognition software. What a huge fucking insult. What an insult to the economy. I lost my job, but now you're going to spy on us? How many people could have filled those tills? And I'm hearing from people who are losing jobs at those tills. What a lie. What a fucking lie. And I have to see it every day. Every time I open those curtains and I see the building of luxury homes. What a lie. So important, it had to begin during lockdown. Who knew at the local level? Who's communicating at the local level with Westminster and knows what the fucking plan is? And don't have the fucking decency to either say, you know what, cool it on the council tax for now. You don't have to pay for it right now. There's some bad, shady dealings going on in the world, and I'm a man of heart and conviction, and that's why I fucking ran for office. Hold the horses. Nowhere to be found. It's, yes, sir, thank you, sir. 3 bags full. I don't even know what is that nursery rhyme about? Yes, sir, Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? I don't know. But that's what it is. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll line my own pockets, or I'll exercise my own control. And that's why, like the mayor of Manchester, the mayor of Liverpool the other day. Why, in fuck's name, would you agree with what Westminster is saying when it's your own population of Liverpool that stands to lose if you listen to them? They will lose, and they will hate you as a result. Do you know that? Why would you do that? Are you not aware? Do you not? There can't be that much distance between the mayoral palace, or wherever you fuckers live, and the common person going out to buy bread. Surely you must overhear a conversation every now and then. Surely you must know that something's rumbling in the air that has a lot to do with people not working, and lies being told to them, and strange rumors of medical experimentation in the winds. Use your fucking head, man. Anyway, people are concerned about my mental health. That was my argument about the facial recognition software. So Ken, I'm sorry if I mentioned this in the last video, but Ken emailed Asda and said, what's this with the facial recognition software? And they said, we use it to collect information to help us in something about to be aware of violence and theft. Obviously theft, but violence. And I thought, I can go in there every day and go, suck my dick, you fucking machine, and not even punch the machine, not even do any physical damage to the machine, but just, you want my face? Here it is, motherfucker.
There's my fucking face, and there's what I fucking think about another fucking machine being thrust into fucking society in this fucking year, you fucking greedy big tech motherfuckers. Film that, bitch. Ta-da! I'm on the stage. Look at me, Ma. Who'd have thought I'd made it? There I am, performing for the facial recognition software Mazda. Yeehaw! I got a show. What am I going to say? I'm going to tell the truth about y'all motherfuckers. That's the hillbilly in me. That's how we react to another goddamn machine thrust upon us. So I could do that every day. Don't hit the machine. Don't punch the machine. And never, ever commit a violent act, ever. So what would that machine tell them about violence? Nothing. They would just know that, for what it's worth, that tall guy that comes in here, he really hates machines. Oh, no, he never hit one. I did, actually. I took a hammer to a VCR once before. But I did 10 years for that. That was the machines are people to act. I used to get frustrated with machines. But the ASDA machines, I never hit the ASDA machines. What did the facial recognition software tell you? Nothing. Just like that AI shit in your computer models are telling you nothing as well. But you're listening to them anyway because that's the done thing now, isn't it? It's only 46 minutes in. I'm going to do an hour. I hope you don't mind because I have to get back to the soundscaping for this. I have to finish this book within the next 2 days or I'm going to crack up. There's so much emotion in this. Queen of this universe, do not believe those rigid threats of death. Ye shall not die. How should ye? By the fruit. It gives you life to knowledge. I was wondering what image I was going to use when she finally eats the apple and when he finally eats the apple, and I'm going to use the Apple logo because I think that probably best sums it up. The bite out of that apple, that corporate symbol that has become such a part of our lives right now that it's willing to say, it comes with an update. Yeah, simply update your iPhone and it will already come with the track and trace test app on you. It will come predisposed to your being spied upon because we love you. It'll come with all these gifts and we'll eat that apple because we'll want that knowledge so bad. Oh, I want that knowledge. Give me the knowledge of good and evil. Show me how to be a good person. Tell me who I should spy on. And if that means being spied on myself, well, I'm just one membrane in a single cell organism, and that's a good thing to be, a bad thing to be, an evil thing to be. And I know this now from eating the apple of the Apple iPhone. I know this now. A bad thing to be is an individual. And I will never be that evil. I will never be an individual. No. I will be that membrane of that single cell organism because that's what goodness is. And if there's bad things done in this single cell organism, whether that be the destruction of care home property, whether that be the culling of the elderly, I will simply mount a fake opposition to it. But no more than that, lest I rupture the membrane that is part of that single cell organism. Anyway. I wish I could. That's too much of a tangent. I want to thank my patron Caleb as well. He sent me a sermon he did. He was preaching at a church in, I believe it's Missouri. I believe it's St. Louis, Missouri. And he sent me a sermon he did last night. And it was nice to hear. It was nice to hear the word of God being shared because that's, to me, that is what this is about. And there was so much, he closed by that verse in Corinthians, and I'm going to misquote this. But it's Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I acted like a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. And I've always found that so moving, and I think part of the reason I find that moving is the way it begins, when I was a child. It seems so unbiblical at that point and so late in the Bible. They mention children in the Bible. There's lots of begats,
and everything. And then Jesus, of course, mentions, be as unto a little child, or have the faith of a child. But when Paul says that, when I was a child, there is this acknowledgement of him as an individual, something we all go through. We all go through childhood. We all go through the process of growing up and reaching, well, some do, and becoming adults. But we all do that in our own individual way. So that's it always sounds so like it's like so there's something so modern and yet so timeless about that. When I was a child, but this whole idea of putting away childish things, it's a beautiful notion. It's a bittersweet thing as well, because it's saying that we can't stay around and play indefinitely. There comes a time where we've all got to grow up. And part of growing up involves admitting you're wrong. And we clearly have a situation right now where there are people who do not want to grow up and admit they're wrong because there is way too much money riding on this. And on top of that, there is a genuine fear. It's fear unto fear. Their fear is that they're losing this thing. And that's why there is going to be more lockdowns and stuff. It's like they've overstepped their bounds, and they're opting for keep on overstepping with this virus with such a ridiculously low death rate. They are pushing this through. They're fearful, just like a lot of us are rightfully fearful about what can you say. As I'm doing this, I know that there was a woman in Australia arrested for making a Facebook post. I know that actually happened, and we all saw that. And we are also afraid because we don't know what the story with this fucking vaccine is. Nobody has reassured us in any way that this will be an option. And we've lived through this year. And back to the childish things. What I loved about Caleb's sermon, Caleb, my patron at patreon.com/Franken, he sent me this sermon last night in this church in St. Louis, Missouri. I think it was St. Louis. It was in Missouri. I'm pretty sure it was in Missouri. And he brought up the story, and I hope you don't mind, Caleb, if I'm actually paraphrasing your sermon, but he brought up something that I often forget, that Jesus called two disciples that were on opposite ends of the political spectrum at the time. Matthew was a tax collector for Rome, and Simon was with the Zealots who wanted Rome overthrown, and he brought them together. And no matter how you look at Jesus as an actual person, or just a political figure, or the Son of God, or no matter how you look at Jesus, or even if the story of Jesus itself is just a myth, which I do not believe, no matter how you look at that, even if it's just allegorical, what can you make of that? That there's a way that is so much deeper and so much closer to truth than this lateral shit. And when Caleb closed with that bit in his sermon with Paul's letter to the Corinthians, I put away childish things. I thought, what are those childish things? Those childish things, for many of us, are as close as last year. For me, it was 2016. The childish things, 2016, and then come 2017, I knew there was a problem. I knew there was a problem with Brexit and Trump, that people weren't actually interested in getting to anything deeper or realer or more artistic or more towards God or towards creativity or towards education, that we still hadn't escaped the shackles of something else. For me, it was 2016, 2017 when I started to know something was wrong. And for me, those are childish things. And it's time to put away childish things now. Because there are people in the world who don't know what a child is. And if Boris Johnson has children, but he elevated Claire Fox, who said, again, I always say this, she says the Battle of Ideas, Academy of Ideas, spiked online, living Marxism, Revolutionary Communist Party, Claire Fox, she said, most child porn is not child porn, it's simulated. And she gets £313 a day of British taxpayer money. So if it's not going to the vaccine that none of us want, some of it's going to her and her House of Lords cronies, doing propaganda for the government. And people like that don't know what a child is. They don't understand how beautiful and precious something like innocence is in a world that does nothing but whore itself out. And I'll tell you something else. This fucking Cuties thing on Netflix, which I've not even seen the advert for this fucking thing. But you hear the storyline and you know what this is about. No. It's doing the opposite. It's showing people that exploitation of children is bad. By what? By showing children exploiting themselves? Don't give me that circular argument, you fucking prick. And the Spectator, the Toby Young run Spectator, Toby fucking Young of the Comedy Unleashed clan, they write an article called In Defense of Cuties. And Spiked Online, part of the same fucking lot, they didn't even have the imagination to change the title. Spiked Online wrote In Defense of Cuties. Brendan O'Neill and I think it was Joanna Williams for the Spectator. The same fucking title, doing the same thing. And many of us really know what's going on. We have seen nothing but fucking moral degradation year after year until you get to a situation where that MP, I forget his fucking name. What was it? It was this year. Busted for child abuse, online images, 8 months suspended sentence. Suspended. Didn't even fucking go to jail. Because there are people who don't know what a child is, because they themselves don't want to put away childish things and acknowledge we were wrong, we fucked up, and that's what grown-ups do. We don't throw around money to our fucking, and we've all had our own version of childish things, and one of my childish things was Brexit Trump, and this will help. We'll get Brexit Trump, and yet how childish was that? Because now we're facing a world where none of that fucking matters. Until somebody can come out and say, you don't have to take this fucking vaccine. In fact, we know what's really killing people right now. We're stopping all funding for vaccines because we decided to listen to the people, and we know that the majority of them, the overwhelming majority of them, don't want this thing. Even people who are fucking wearing masks now. We're listening to them. And I really thank Caleb for that sermon. That was nice. I was having my dinner last night and I got that on Facebook, and I said, "This would be great. I'll have my chicken nuggets and pasta while I'm watching Caleb do his sermon." It was a great job, really good. And I'm glad to hear he was invited back next week to testify. God bless. God bless each and every one of you. I got to get back to work on this poem. And I think it's what God wants me to do. I think God wants me to talk to you guys as well and whatever, and be funny. And I hope I was funny. I hope you enjoyed this. But I also believe very much in this poem because it's looking like, I forgot how long book 9 was, and I didn't realize it was going to take me an entire month. And it's the 9th month of the year. And it seems so weird. It's such an evil thing happening in the poem now as it's unfolding in the world around us. And I need to have this book done by September so I can have book 10 done by October. And 11 and 12 are relatively shorter. And so it's looking like, and all things happen in God's time, but it looks like it's going to be hopefully a Christmas present to the world. Now the patrons have 8 of the 9 books now. Pretty soon they're getting all of the books one at a time, and if they so choose, they have the raw files as well. They've got everything associated with this project. And but the plan was, when it's all done, not monetizing it, nothing, just putting it out there and saying this is a gift I want to give the world right now, because it's something, I want to give the world whatever it's not getting right now. My favorite verse in the Bible is always from the book of John. If the world hates you, know that it hated me first. If you were of the world would love its own, but you are not of the world because I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hates you. And that's not self-pity. That's an acknowledgement of fact. Because right now, if you are opposed to this vaccine, the world as we see it, the world of the media, the world of the political establishment, all of these worlds that calls itself the world, hates you. It hates you so much it ignores you. It doesn't even, when they're having their little talking heads on the TV, they're two talking heads about, no, I think they're doing a good job testing and tracing. I disagree. They should do a better job testing and tracing. They're not talking to you because you don't exist. You are the underclass. You're the people like me somewhere in the world. Maybe you're looking at luxury homes that were being built on perfectly good land from the very first day of lockdown and wondered, what the fuck is going on? I was going to do something about Prince Charles and the coronavirus, but I forgot what that was. Anyway, maybe that's for next time. I hope all of you are keeping well, no matter where you are in the world. And thank you, as always, to the patrons at patreon.com/Franken. And it's back to work for me today, and I am just about to, she's eating the fruit, but now it's my turn to eat the fruit in the sound effects. So here we go. God bless you all, and good night.